Spain. Now, again, it's the second meeting that we have for restricted riders meeting. We had it last night for Newcastle. I'm sure that the gents in the studio will be having a look at her win last time, and it was pretty easy, wasn't it? Jockey didn't have to move, was sort of cantering all the way, and Raul de Silva, it'll be nice to catch up with Raul if he can ride a winner here, because he is the man responsible for doing the homework on King of Steel. So he's got a very important job at the Roger Varian stable. The Ammo team, they set off like a rocket. The new retained rider was successful, first juvenile contest of the year. Little 2-year-old by Sergei Prokofiev, who got the job done. I'll tell you what, this is no gimme. Al Shamali went out early for Marcus Tregoning. Dougie Costello gets the leg up, was screaming and shouting, so he's a bit of a boyo. What a beautiful individual. I'd say he might just have a bit of a blow. Approval, 160,000 for the Highclere team. Gelded after his debut, and the dam is a half-sister, unraced half-sister to a Breeders' Cup filly and mare winner in La Dude. So we've got some super pedigrees on show, boys. And that question I wanted to, you were giving me the big shout, and now the trainers get a list of riders, and we can have a momentary two-way, hopefully, lads. The trainers get a list of riders who fit the bracket to ride in these races. Who would you choose, just off the top of your head?
Out of the ones in this race?
No, out of the ones that would be on the list, you know, 30 winners and under, or under 30 winners. That's the question. Just because you lads, I'll fill for you a minute while you can get somebody in your mind. But
yeah,
there was a name on that list, remarkable. Go on, who would you have?
Well, in my mind is Harrison Shaw, who's came back from injury in January. He had a horrible year last year. He had 2 injuries at 2 different stages, and he's just coming back there now and trying to make a name for himself again. And he hasn't got a ride today. He had one yesterday, but he hasn't got one today. Who have you got in mind?
Well, I don't know how many winners. Is it just this season so far, Shock?
No, there are, between the 2nd of March 2023 and the 1st of March 2024 inclusive, have ridden 30 or fewer winners on the flat in Great Britain. Come on. Well, quick one, chappers. Just a quick answer. You're normally sharp. You're normally on it.
I mean, Clutterbuck would do for me. He's got a good new job, though, so he's going to be off this list quite soon.
Do you know what I want? Do you know what I want? Frankie Dettori, but he's not coming back from California.
Why is it always about Dettori with you, Jason? You've got to let it go. Let it go, OK? He beat you. He smashed you up. He destroyed you. He's going to be the greatest TV presenter ever. You've just got to let him go and hope he stays in America forever. Right. Shall we have a look at Lady of Spain?
Let's do it.
This is Roger Varian and Raul de Silva. Getting a few chances from Varian's stable is Raul. It's got to take them, mind. Lady of Spain has slightly changed colours. Judged by this, is now in yellow. So, went on to beat Brody's Boy here by 4 lengths, was slowly away, shaken up, came through nicely in the closing stages. This was authoritative. Not sure how good the form is, Fred, but you can't argue with this.
No, and you can only beat what's put in front of you on the day. And look at it, the way she done it was quite good, I have to say, because she actually changed leads perfectly with a furlong left to run, and that just gave her that extra gear, which is so important to change your leads, especially around Wolverhampton, because that furlong, that straight is only a furlong and a half long. So to get that extra bit out of them, you need to be able to get them to change leads, and she did that very naturally. So I think there's plenty more to come. We know that Mr. Varian doesn't drill his horses first time out, so she's bound to have improved quite a bit. And this is quite exciting for Raul de Silva to be sitting on this Phoenix of Spain filly here. And I don't think the penalty will stop her.
Well, no, I mean, judged by that performance, it was impressive, to be honest. There are some floaters in here, though. King's Coronation, tongue-tied first time. John and Thady Gosden, you're not going to ignore that, are you? But it's interesting that John and Thady Gosden come here against a previous winner. Approval, well, you're not going to ignore anything from the Haggish stable ever. And that horse went off at 9-2 on debut. Of course, Marchant currently rode it that day, having his holidays still in Australia, while Holly does all the hard work here.
Fair play, Ollie.
So Holly's dad was telling me that Tom's too scared to post anything from down under.
Right.
Because he's got obviously quite a nice time.
Yes.
But he only posts him in the gym or him riding track work.
In case Holly...
Yeah, he doesn't post anything of him having any fun at all.
So, we understand.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm sure it is hard work. It must be, mustn't it? I mean, in that sunshine down under with the odd meeting here and there. Must be desperately hard work. Yeah, and Starshine legend as well, James Ferguson. That's a horse who is a massive price here, but was only beaten 4 and a bit lengths on debut, you know, and now it's 66-1. Now, you nigh on bet your life it's going to get a handicap mark, and today is not the day, but the debut run didn't suggest it should be 66-1.
No, but I agree with you. He'll definitely have his mark after this run today, and you'll take it from there on forward, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Of course, Qatar Racing, the owners of King's Coronation, they've got rid of Kieran Fallon, and they haven't really got enough horses for Usheen either, to be honest. It's not really, I don't know really why they have a retained rider, but they've got Tyler Hurd today by Kingman out of a Hurricane Run mare. Let's do this.
Horse racing is the best sport on the planet.
I love the jumps, I love the drama of it.
The atmosphere, the noise, the crowd.
And they're off. You have your bets on for the races, you've talked about it with your mates.
Zero strategy behind who I choose.
I always pick favourite.
I study the form.
I back the outsider.
To be honest, my favourite, me.
However you pick your horses, bet Fred for horse racing specials, price boosts and extra places. Love racing.
Bet Fred.
Available in-store and online.
So, Lady of Spain in the yellow colours about to go forward. Raul de Silva. His career's been a funny one, hasn't it, Jason? He's had chances, almost disappeared, then returned. Then you remember that little thing he had with Jim Crowley one day? And now he's back getting a few chances again with Roger Varian. One thing you can say about Raul is he doesn't go away.
No, he certainly doesn't, and you're right. Yeah, he was a 50 winner man, wasn't he, for one season, and then a few in the 30s, mid sort of 15, 16s around there, and getting a few opportunities, and hopefully he sort of settled into that position where he is now, and that's the reason that he is getting opportunities for Roger right now, and I think he puts a lot of groundwork in, rides out for a good few stables throughout the Newmarket area. Now, because of the way that the race conditions are framed, we've got the likes of Ben Cohen riding in here, and obviously Ben rides for Johnny Murtagh back home, and he rode 55 winners last season. So as ever, the teams responsible for picking the jockeys have been very, very shrewd, if you like, and Ben is an interesting runner. Approval, what a big, good-looking type he was. Although he didn't show a great deal, he was a 9-2 shot for a Doncaster maiden under bottomless conditions. And, of course, he goes off levels with Lady of Spain having to carry the penalty. We'll see how good she is now in a couple of minutes because they're nearly all aboard, aren't they? Bomber, good evening.
Evening, Jace. Hello, everyone. Down to the last three. King's Coronation operates, and Starshine Legend to complete the line. Gates are shut for the opener. Operate with a handler in stall 2 and off. To race over an extended mile for the BetMGM Novice Stakes. Approval, Operate, who sweated freely beforehand, the first two to show. Al Shimali free on the inside of Super Fluidity. Lady of Spain is on the outside of that duo as Operate leads them around the turn. Front five are clear of a driven along Glad Hope and Hilltop and King's Coronation and Exceptionality and Starshine Legend as they prepare to head off and race down the back. 6 furlongs from home, Operate leads Approval, Al Shimali. Lady of Spain up into 4th at the expense of Super Fluidity. Then Glad Hope and Hilltop and King's Coronation in advance of Exceptionality. And Starshine Legend is the last to pass the 5 pole. Halfway down the back straight, Operate from the white-faced Approval. Al Shimali rides the rail a close third. Lady of Spain in close attendance is running 4th, 3 off the leader as they run to the end of the back straight, less than half a mile to go. Super Fluidity remains in touch, a little break to Hilltop. King's Coronation making a shade of ground. Exceptionality, Glad Hope's on the retreat, and Starshine Legend remains the back marker. 2.5 furlongs from home, Operate from Approval, Al Shimali, Lady of Spain, with King's Coronation continuing to close on the leaders as they pass the 2 pole and swing in. It's Operate by a half length from Approval. Couple of lengths to Lady of Spain, who's gone third. Al Shimali next. Then follows Hilltop, King's Coronation. Approval takes over from Operate. Entering the final furlong here down the outside is Lady of Spain. Lady of Spain closing in on Approval as they run up towards the line. Lady of Spain the outside of Approval. Lady of Spain gets up from Approval. Operate ran third, then Hilltop and King's Coronation both running on clear of Super Fluidity.
Well, she's made hard work of it, but well done to the Roger Varian team, because Lady of Spain manages to keep that perfect 100% record. And it was momentarily looked like Approval was going to give her, and did give her, a good bit to think about. It has to be said. He was always in the ideal striking spot, wasn't he? And that return run from, what, 236 days away from the track, he'll have no problem picking up a race before he continues to climb up the ladder. Look at the the Shadwell colours down on the inside. He got very, very tired. He's a good-looking type, and watch for him when he gets a handicap mark. He's going to be rated next to nothing. And we've got the Kingman there, merely closing up late in the day in behind the main leaders. 8 to 13, gents. She made hard work of it, but it was a horrible run round. If you take that run into the first turn, you know, if she settles and she gets into a rhythm, I think she's valued for a good bit more than the winning margin.
That's it, Jason. You summed it up perfectly. The first furlong and a half was Rao just needs to watch his whip there. The only use of it he's used has gone straight down the number cloth, and that is exactly the place you're not allowed to hit them. Might have a look at that again in a minute. Don't really want to get him in trouble as such, but you just can't be doing that in the modern era of British racing. You might get away with it. Yeah, Store 9 comes out the boxes okay, as you'd expect for a horse with previous winning experience, but there's no real way to get in, Freddie, and basically he just can't get in behind in the Arcostles.
No, she jumps quite nicely. She jumps on terms with everyone else as well, but because there isn't an awful lot of pace going into that first bend, it means she's obviously going to have something to her left-hand side. Now, Raoul de Souza is very lucky that Grace McEntee is on his left, and she's able to go onto that rail, which means then he's finding that little bit of cover, and therefore it takes him a good 2 furlongs, or takes the two of them a good 2 furlongs to just find their rhythm and sort of ease into their rhythm. And once he's got that filly underneath him, again, she travels around there like the eventual winner the whole way. You have to say, watch his body language here. He's obviously got 2 handfuls full of horse running there underneath him. Everything travels. Did they go hard? No, they didn't, but they went an even gallop, which helped everyone else to obviously travel nicely under bridle as well. I thought Approval has run a massive race for Connections. He's really stepped it up from his first run, and like Jason was saying, there is races to be won with this lad. He was unfortunate to have bumped into the eventual winner here today, but just watch this. As soon as they swung in for home here, now the pace is injected. They're starting to stretch a little bit more. Approval is a little bit on the green side. He's allowed to be, you know, going from Doncaster to now a tight left-handed all-weather track is obviously a massive difference. He's a big horse with a big stride, and he nearly got first run on that eventual winner. Raul de Silva, it took him some time to actually go and hit top gear. Once he did, it looked like he was going to win easy, but Approval actually battles back here, so there wasn't much between them.
No. I mean, I think Approval can pick up a novice or a maiden.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
I think so, yeah, which is good news because one or two of these have shown their cards quite early in their careers. I mean, Hilltop has run an absolute belter for Danny and Claire Kubler, but has Hilltop shown too much? And King's Coronation, I really like that horse out the back. As I say, Raul's just got to stop hitting the number cloth. I think all the whip strokes went straight onto the number. And you can't be doing that. But it's a good performance. This is a very likeable horse